Oh, hey, didn't see you there. It's me, Duder McFluter from the Nurse Huckleberry Show. You know, a lot of people have been asking about how we set up the new studio here in the new house. And I think I want to go through that. So, I got to press record. So a lot of people have been asking how we set this show up, right? How do we do it? Do we have extensive backgrounds in video audio technology? Are we geniuses? Did we go to school? Are we some sort of industry plant? All of these questions, some of them come up. Now, a lot of people don't know that it's just the two of us, and that as people think the show is fully scripted. I hate to burst your bubble. It's not fully scripted. It is almost fully improvised, and the only way that we can really do that is with all of this technology. So let's start with audio, huh? See, the microphone I'm wearing right now is not a microphone that we use on the show, so don't think about that. These are microphones we used years ago, and they still work for this sort of application. So if we look here, we've got a mixer. So this isn't just any old mixer. This is a Yamaha DM3 Dante controller. Now, that is a lot of words that I don't understand, but fortunately, we have a lot of smart friends that help us set things up. So a big shout out to C. Cohen, who helped us not only recommended to get this, but also set up the Dante virtual sound card and helped us set up this new Sennheiser EW digital transmitter situation. Now those, none of them are plugged in right now, but they go Ethernet. It's insane. It goes Ethernet to there, and then they're right here. So these are over here, of course. We've got the port 1, we've got port 2, and so on. Very cool. And all of that is controlled through here. And not only that, but there are buttons on this Stream Deck Studio that can mute the mic. So if you can look over there, or if you can get both in the same shot, right? So we can mute and unmute the mics. We can turn on the reverb a little bit. And it's super cool because I can do that and have it be the same exact level every time. And that's not a Stream Deck Studio exclusive thing, but it is a companion buttons thing, which I do have some on other Stream Decks as well. There's more audio. Follow me over here. So when we do karaoke and stuff, sometimes it's fun to have a handheld microphone. So we got some of these indestructible Shure SM58s to make that happen. And we've got our mic stand here. We've got that cable that just kind of hangs out right over there. We have a second one just in case. So that's always fun. Oh, hi. So video is something I think we get asked about the most. I complain about the audio the most, but we get asked about the video the most. So on the Nurse Huckleberry Show, there are 12 cameras. Now, I'm going to show you on OBS through recording all of the 12 cameras. So you can watch me, and then we're going to look over here. So there's camera 1, there's camera 2, there, hi Bert. And then we've got zooms for everything, right? And then there's camera 3 over there. There's Air Jordan. Hey, Air Jordan over there. Jeff is in the living room over there. Got this camera here. Got the stove. We've got inside the fridge. Got the behind the scenes camera over there. And this one back behind me over here. This cutting board one. And then the green screen one, which is not on right now. It is currently being used to film this video. Now, a lot of our cameras are Lumix cameras. We've got a GH4, a GH5, and a GH7. But then Blackmagic was so gracious to gift us this Pocket Cinema 4K, which we've been using a lot. I use it for outside in the garden at nighttime. I use it in the DJ room. We'll get there. Check this out. So if we go here, right? So we're right here. So here's a couple of the Stream Decks, right? So we go into the OBSBot folder. We've got all of the 3 cameras that can pivot, right? So we've got camera 1, which is Jeff over here, which we can then move where we need to, and also track and stuff. We've got camera 2, which is over here. They can move over here, and then of course we've got Air Jordan in the back, which we can see if you can see. Watch this. Excuse me. but also you can come with me over here. So this camera is also fully wireless, but also seems to have a mind of its own. Now, the main camera also has a fun little zooming thing that is not meant... I found out, we got gifted this, what is this called? Small rig wireless hand wheel controller. I think technically it's used to pull zoom, or pull focus on cameras, but we use it to zoom. So I can twist the knob, and as you can see on the screen, it zooms it in. As you can see on the camera, it zooms it in. And it's super cool to be able to do that, especially with the GH7 because it has such great autofocus and can work at... Are you looking at my crotch?
No, I'm looking at the thing.
Are you looking at my crotch? Anyway, caliber... Yeah, exactly. So here it is. So that's how it works. Beautiful. Now we have five Stream Decks set up over here. We've got the one that controls most of the cameras, which is the main Stream Deck, which you can see has all of the cameras on it. It has a folder for the Ozbot cameras, and it has a folder for some of our redeems, and it has all of the cameras and some zooms for different OBS scenes, which you can kind of see over here. And then the second one below that has a lot of the music, which are full at this point. We need to probably go through a little bit of that. And then some other stuff that's just remnants from previous bits that we've done and other things that we use every once in a while. And then the third Stream Deck over here, the New Girl, has got all of this stuff for Otto and Rudy, which is a show that we do on the show. We've got all of our ads, which is completely full now. We need to get more things in there. It's got all of the buttons to pause and start alerts. It's got different bits. We've got the Smart Stuffs. Smart Stuffs trivia, where I choose a number. And then we've also got the award show that we did, the Boardies, and that is something that I couldn't have done without a Stream Deck. So the way that I set up the Boardies was through... I'm going to explain that later when we're setting up a new thing. So the whole purpose of all this new... Hold on, what? The other thing we have here is this sound macro keyboard, which uses a fun program called Death Counter and Soundboard, which you can manually put in any sound effect to trigger with a hotkey, which is super cool. And it's great because you can overlay, well, you're not going to be able to hear it right now, but they can overlap each other, which is really good. And that's super fun. Like, I wouldn't replace this with a Stream Deck only because it has a great purpose and it does the one thing super good. This thing up here, not as intuitive. And I'm actually really excited to replace this with the Stream Deck XL Plus. Not only more knobs,
XL Plus,
but smarter knobs. And I'm also going to be replacing this Stream Deck XL and putting it in the DJ room. So a lot of what I do over here while Nurse is over in the kitchen, I'm over here with all the buttons, right? So I'm not even looking at her. I'm looking at her through the screen, right? So I'm looking at her through the screen. And I have the monitor set up in... Right now is the most ideal way, I guess. I could probably figure out something better. But, so we have a chat and alerts. We've got a bunch of stream information, Stream Deck stuff, and then just one full screen for OBS, and then another chat, and another alerts, and then we've got the Pally alerts. We've got Firebot back here, the Ozbot Control Center, and then I usually keep a couple of other things open behind there, like the Dante Virtual Sound Card and all of that. And this camera is rigged up on its own little stand on the shelf because it was too heavy to put on this monitor. And it's so cool because we have, I don't know if you can get down, look down there, you can see an HDMI splitter right this way, right where my hand is covering. So that is taking the middle display here, that's taking this middle display and displaying it not only here, mirrored, but it's also displaying it in here on a TV, right? And also here's Jeff right here. Jeff's up here perched on the TV. So we can see from basically any room in the house where we are, what we're doing, and right now we're trying to figure out the best way to put the chat also on this screen so we can see the chat from anywhere else, and that would be super helpful. But yeah, so then we have this whole space in here to play, but from the kitchen, where Nurse is usually standing, she's got all different stuff to look at, really. She's got the alert, she's got the chat, she's got a mirror of the projector preview through OBS. So she sees the preview, which at first was very confusing, because if I do any sort of editing, live editing in studio mode, it does get a little confusing on what is on camera. Like, especially even now during commercial breaks, maybe we'll set something up and I have to preview the green screen, right? But then all you see over here is the green screen. You're like, wait a minute, am I on camera or is there a commercial playing?
Yeah, what's happening?
What's happening? Let's put Air Jordan back. So this is Air Jordan. Air Jordan lives back here and stays charged. Come on. And then, of course, if we look at the camera in here, got the camera in the fridge, which is an old iPhone 6S?
6S.
6S. And rechargeable battery, and then whatever light is on top of that camera that you're recording with right now is the light that usually goes in the fridge. And they have been working for years. And then over here, we've got the stove camera, which, gets a good shot of the stove and some other stuff. But also an iPhone 7, I think. Yeah. Hi, Kiki. All right, let's look at some of the drawers over here. Got all kinds of junk drawers over here. We don't need to open those. The most important drawer we do need to open is the fish drawer. Oh, they don't need the shredded coconut anymore. And over here is the prop wall, which throughout the show, if you're not familiar with the Nurse Huckleberry show, I'm not sure why you're watching the studio tour, but there are many little bits that happen during the show, which include literally everything that's on the wall. There's not one thing on this wall that we have not used on the show at least once. And they have to be so accessible because we use them often, especially, surprisingly, the Rubik's Cube, these gloves,
The lobster claw.
the lobster claws, the feet. The feet always end up in the clown shoes, the hooks, these big ears. Oh, and the digital camera back there.
Ooh!
Yeah. Now, there's one more thing on the main show that's important that we need to show you, which is outside. So if we meet a goal on the show, we have to do what we call a reverse dunk tank. Now, it has another name, I'm sure, but just
It's like a splash tower.
go on. We gotta be quiet since it's early in the morning. Oh, it says splash tower right on it. Yeah, so this is a splash tower. Working on trying to not make it look like a prison cell, torture chamber. But right now, that's what it looks like. Don't mind the Christmas tree. Don't look up. I said don't mind the Christmas tree. Stop. So while we work our way around the studio, right, all the lights in here are also, in one way or another, smart lights. So they can interact with, let me get my phone. They get triggered by alerts and stuff. So, like, for example, like, they go, well, in the kitchen, they go all red. So then, we can turn everything off or everything off. And of course, how can you be a content creator online and not have a podcast? Yeah, this is Patty the cow. That's Bert. Here's Stunt Bert. Stunt Bert over here. Stunt Bert does a lot of work on the show. Over here, we've got the podcast studio, where we sit in orange chairs and talk about stuff. If you're interested in that sort of thing, it's called Solo Adventures Together, where we send each other on different adventures. Last adventure I went on was looking at birds by the ocean. It's one bird, and they stick their whole head inside their mouth.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
And if you want to learn more about that, there's definitely more about that coming out on Monday. What Monday? I don't know what Monday is going to be. Anyway, moving on to secondary channels, right? Nerd Huckleberry. This is where Nerd Huckleberry is. Hey, this is my video. I don't know what she does over here, but there's a computer. There's a little baby, cute little Stream Deck over here. And then, of course, we've got the microphone with this super beefy arm. It's actually, this is so good. And yeah, the XLR Wave, that's right. And it sounds great.
Oh, it sounds so good.
It sounds good. And the Stream Deck there's this cool dock that Stream Deck has that has an XLR connection just built into it.
So I don't need a mixer.
Don't need a mixer. It's already got software built in. And then there's the key light that is also Elgato key light. Thank you, Elgato, for all the stuff. Key light's great. Can be controlled by the app on the Stream Deck, everything. Now, it's the music room. Of course, we've got sound panels now on the wall. And we've got, this is where the Duder VO channel exists. And I sit right here. And then I got all this stuff. There's another Elgato key light right there. And so over here we do music. We do just chit-chatting. Do all kinds of stuff. We've got Looper. We've got a freaking Arturia Micro Freak. We've got two mixers, a welder, or a soldering thing. This loop deck's going in the fucking trash. Over there, we've got the mead corner. Got 2 batches of mead happening. Yeah, we got the one on the right is almost done. The one on the left still needs to be transferred over. Over here, we've got the gaming corner with one of the best TVs you ever see. Tower of DVDs and games and a VHS player hidden in there. Dang. It's almost like I need a little bit of organization in my life. No. But in here, it's super cool because we have all of these consoles hooked up over here into this RCA switch box. And there's also an HDMI switch box for the newer consoles. And that all goes over here to the Elgato Capture 4K situation, which then, super cool, gets split off up the wall to a projector, which I probably should use more. But then there's the projector wall on the wall there. So, and obviously, if you guys have any questions, I'm probably missing stuff. Just let me know in the comments. All right, there's a trampoline also. So now that we went over everything kind of nitty gritty and just a little generally, I want to set up the new Stream Deck XL. But before I do that, I want to show off what we can do with it, what we've done recently with a Stream Deck. And so if we look here, so Firebot is a bot similar to StreamerBot. It can do way more than Stream Elements and any other Twitch integrated bot. But basically, I made preset effects. So the boardies are real, absolutely real award show where we celebrate everything Bortco. And it happened the same day as the Oscars. Coincidentally, I don't know why they keep scheduling their show the same time as ours. But basically, we had a bunch of other fellow streamers announcing the nominations and announcing the winners and walking the red carpet and all of that. So we needed to coordinate how we're going to trigger all of those, right? Because they also had reactions from the crowd during different things happening on this stage. And through Firebot, you can make preset effects where basically, let's say this, if we look here at, let's see, if we look at clapping reaction Marco, right? So it plays a video, but you can trigger it from the Stream Deck using a website action thing. And I might blur that because I forget if I can use that or not, but if I could show that or not. But if we trigger it, right, I have a button on the Stream Deck, right? So if we go to look at here, got a button on the Stream Deck where we've got the boardies, where I've got every folder for every award. So if we look at the reactions, that is the wrong reactions folder. So if we look at the reactions, we've got Clap Marco, right? That's what we looked at. Then we can see there's Marco clapping. Look at him. Wow. Look at him go. So those things can trigger while anything else is happening. It just is an overlay in the alerts and goals nested scene. And I think that's super cool and super easy to set. It was a little long to set up, like, this many Usually it doesn't need to be this many. And I think the most tedious part was Firebot does a thing where every new thing you make, every time you make it trigger a video, it auto sets it to fade in and fade out. And I didn't want that, but I didn't realize it until I was like 50 videos in. So I had to ask Nurse to go through all of them and do that because I needed a break. And she so graciously helped me. So graciously went through and set them not to fade in or fade out. But then from there, it can all just be buttons on the Stream Deck, and you can trigger any of them at any point. So, for example, like best YouTube video winner.
And the winner for 2025
winner
is...
there's Salberry. Wow.
How to
Looking
clean
beautiful
your
on
couch.
stage. Announcing the winner, which that one actually didn't win. That one actually didn't win. Anyway, so let me see how easy this is to install a new Stream Deck, where I need to save the profile, right? Let's see. So basically I think it's profile 1. I can export 1. Yeah, okay. So you can see here, profile 1. Did I export profile 1? Okay. So I've got profile 1. Let me actually rename it Stream Deck Profile New XL Plus. Great. Now I just need to unplug this guy. And interestingly, we usually move this Stream Deck around the back to use on the green screen, but now we're going to be using the phone app to use that because this Stream Deck won't be able to be moved as easily. So let's imagine I can use the same USB, but I don't need to because I don't need it to be so extended. Now I also am planning on replacing this, so we can also unplug. Well, I can. Where is this plugged in? Fine.
What?
So we did just get this, so I haven't even set it up yet. So I hope it works. Oh. Okay, so we've got the USB-C cable that it came with, and then of course the Stream Deck, Plus XL. Which first thing you need to do is something I didn't realize you needed to do before. Take off the little sticky thingies on the back, the bottom, so it stays nice and right. Okay, so we don't need this in here. This can go right here. Oh, yeah. Oh, man, it fits so perfect right there. Now, I don't know if I have an open USB-C slot on the computer, but let's find out. Okay, well, it is now on and plugged in. I made a very vital mistake, which we don't need to talk about, where I plugged in a USB-C cable into a normal USB, and it seemed to turn off the computer, which, good for the computer, turn it off. And that was great. So I just had to figure that out. It only turned off my liquid cooling, and I needed to reset the liquid cooling plug, but everything seems to be working okay right now. Yes, it's on. Okay, good. This is on, right? Yes. Okay. Don't freak out, man. All right, and this is just the normal setup that they've got going on here. But I had to restart the computer, so I kind of need to reopen everything again. Whoops. So let's see how easy it is to put in this profile of the Stream Deck. Okay, here it is. So Stream Deck Plus XL default profile Windows. That's not what I want. I want a new profile, and I want to add a new. How do I import a profile? There we go. Import Profile 1. Cool. Okay, so everything that I had before is now still here. So all the ads. Oh, we got more buttons though. We got more buttons, and it's brighter. I need to turn down the brightness. So now I want to set up all of the knobs, and I want them to be volume for things. So how do I do that? How do you do the audio thing?
The knobs.
Yeah. Oh, I see. Oh, okay. So let me pretend like I know what I'm doing. All right. Well, while we wait for OBS to open, since it takes a second sometimes, now we've got this set up. We go to, we can look up volume in the Stream Deck dials plugin section and put in manual software detection, right? A couple of times, because we need to manually control all of our software detection. Applications. Let's do Chrome. Okay. And then we've got we want Stream Deck. Is there a Stream Deck system? Okay. Then we've got the OBS browser page. Then we want the other OBS. Then we want the DCSB, and then we want Firebot. I think that's everything. Let's see. Let's turn some knobs. All right. So that's there. Okay. And then browser page is good. That's good. We want that way lower. That one's usually around there. And then Firebot's around 40%. I think I'm missing one, which is Lumia, but I don't remember. Let's see. So here we can see Chrome, Stream Deck, which is there a Stream Deck output knob, or is that just, okay, the system does affect all of that. So that's not what I want. I want this Stream Deck one. So I want, I guess, maybe input device control. And if I turn down that there, okay, so that's good. And what is that? That's a different thing. Okay, I somehow missed it before, but there is a Stream Deck option for application, so that's good. So I can control the music volume. That's good. Oh, you can't even hear that. Let's try a louder song. And that really is that easy. I just copied over the profile, and then we're good to go. Now I don't need this, and I have a bigger Stream Deck to work with. So that is very cool. Man, being able to mute them just like that too, super cool. Fade them in and out. Oh man, this is gonna be great. Well, that concludes this year's studio tour. Now we've got this installed. I don't know what else we're going to be installing really to add more to the show besides maybe some better lighting structures or some stronger lights. But as of right now, everything seems to be flowing pretty nicely. The computer is working great. All of this is just great. Honestly, can I leave this here just to look like I have more buttons? Why not? You know, that's fun. I wonder if I could do anything else with those knobs. I do like knobs. I like buttons. I like knobs. All of this, and I just need to install this over in the music room, which then I can just set up with a fresh profile and add all the sound effects that I want in there and all whatever else I need to add, and it'll work so much better than the loop deck. Thank you for watching. If you made it this far into the video, you know that I had to troubleshoot for about 30 minutes on how to get my liquid cooler to work again, and all I needed to do was unplug it and plug it back in again. Anyway, if you have any questions, leave them in the comments, and we'll see you on stream Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday, 10 p.m. Pacific time on the Nurse Huckleberry Show. And thank you so much for watching. Okay.